Welcome, this is the Battery Tech Configuration Tool tutorial. This app can be used to communicate and configure the high voltage series battery management systems from Battery Tech. The top menu allows for saving and loading configuration files from the computer drive and also sending commands to the connected device. On the right hand side of the screen there is a menu which allows for quick connection with the device as well as reading and writing the configuration on the board. On the left hand side there are multiple tabs to select from, first of which is the connection tab. In here the user can choose whether he wants to connect using a USB cable or CAN bus. For CAN bus connection, choose the interface you are using, select the correct baud rate and enter the device ID. Click Connect. After connecting with the device, you can choose the Firmware tab to upload new firmware to your device. Choose the provided update file and click the upload button. After a successful update, the application will ask you to reconnect with your device. On the right hand side, select Reconnect. Under BMS settings, the user can access the general settings for the BMS. Here you can set basic options for your system and define current tables for maximum charging currents and discharging currents. The user should also specify the open circuit voltage table for the cells used in the battery. On the bottom of this tab, there are settings regarding CAN bus communication. In the Cell Management tab, the user can set under voltage and over voltage thresholds, configure overcurrent protection for charging and discharging, as well as set temperature protection thresholds for the battery cells. At the bottom of this tab, there are also settings for cell balancing. In the Hardware Configuration tab, the user needs to specify the number of cell monitoring boards managed by the master board. To select another board, select the cells to be monitored by this board and also select the temperature sensor connections. In this view, you also specify the technology of the cells used and additional parameters including temperature thresholds for enabling battery cooling or heating, SD card logging settings, and parameters to determine whether the battery is being used or not. In here you can also configure temperature protection of BMS hardware. This includes master board and cell monitoring board protection. In the Hall sensor section, the user can enter the parameters of the connected Hall current sensor. Below in this tab there are also settings for temperature sensor inputs and analog inputs on the master board itself. Next up, in the GPIO configuration tab, users can assign certain functionalities to the GPIOs as well as PWM outputs. Example configuration is shown. The Sequences tab allows for defining the behavior of BMS in 4 specified sequences: entering discharge, entering charge, stopping discharge, and stopping charge. GPIOs and functions previously defined in the GPIO configuration tab can be used here. To load the current configuration stored in the board, use the Read Configuration button on the right. To apply modified configuration to the board, use the Write Configuration button. If you reset the device after writing your configuration, the previously stored configuration will be loaded. If you are sure of the changes that you have made, click the Save Configuration button in order to store the configuration in the memory of the device. This way, if you reset the device, the newly saved configuration will be loaded. To load a configuration file from the drive, choose Load BMS Configuration and select the config you want to load. To save configuration on the hard drive, select Save BMS Configuration and save your new config. To monitor your BMS in real time, you can use the tabs under Data Analysis. The BMS Parameters tab shows you the status flags, GPIO states, and BMS overall parameters. In the Slave Measurements tabs, you can see slave measurements in real time.